Pretty exciting episode this week on Vera TV. We speak with two men. One of them is the man behind the NCPA, the National Collegiate Pickleball Association, and the other is the man behind VAR, a rating system that is changing the game. There's a partnership there. So we kind of find out what that's about, and the partnership will sort of come to fruition at Nationals at the end of February. All right, let's get to that conversation.
Let's welcome Mike Parker from VAR, Noah Sumnick from the NCPA to another episode of VAR TV. Welcome to the show, fellas.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so pretty exciting news obviously came out in the last couple weeks here. The partnership between VAR and the National Collegiate Pickleball Association. And I think it's when we look back at this partnership, we'll look back at sort of the changing of the landscape of pickleball and pickleball ratings with some serious organizations, and this one being obviously a serious college organization. So we'll start with you, Noah. Talk to me a little bit about the partnership with VAR. Obviously, Nationals coming up very shortly at the end of this month. And what you're kind of looking forward to moving forward with VAR and the NCPA.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that the pickleball world is missing is just, I would say, integrity in players having accurate ratings moving forward. That's honestly, and we have our own college rating, which, a player will get with just playing in college events. I think it's important for, colleges and universities to be ranked just in college events. And we needed a whole field, which there is filling of just very accurate ratings that are reliable, and a player can have their college rating great, their NCPA rating, but then they've got their VAR that they can take wherever if they go pro, if they go, just playing, semi-competitively, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, with Mike, very much happy we connected, and I think the timing was perfect because we've been in contact for a while. So, yeah, to answer your question, very excited for this. I think it's going to be big just to kind of be trailblazers in the space for really having accurate ratings.
Yeah, and I think you hit it on the nose there, trailblazing, because both of you guys have kind of come out outside of the status quo a little bit. I mean, obviously, no, you're up against some of the heavies, and you've had some pushback, and you're still standing, and you're still thriving. And then Mike brings VAR to our consciousness, and we're like, oh, ratings can be different. Ratings can be accurate. Ratings can be visual, which is a big deal. So, Mike, talk to us a little bit about VAR and really getting to partner with a great organization, the NCPA, and moving forward in that direction with nationals coming up, which is pretty exciting for VAR too.
Oh, I'm very excited. Kids, I guess I should say, I've been a coach for many years, have always been near and dear to my heart. Having a daughter actually in college right now is special to me. So to be part of this with Noah and what he wants to do with the college kids, what he actually is doing actually, with I think it's well over 200 major colleges that he's got on his system. And being able to take that into the youth aspect as well that Noah wants to do. It's exactly where I've always wanted the system to start with. Obviously the average age of a pickleball player was a lot older, but now going to the past PPA tournament I was just at, seeing all the youth and the fact that we sponsor who just turned 16, one of the PPA players, it's been huge. So to bring VAR into what Noah's doing is exciting because now he breaks it down for the college, which is unbelievable, his rating system that he has. But we can also break that down a little deeper into the age groups. So we can help with the age groups as well, to help back up what he's doing in his system. So I couldn't be more excited and more happy to partner with him, and what he's doing.
Yeah, and a lot of people excited about the news. Senior pro and author Dane Gingrich sharing the post this morning about the partnership, and he's fired up about it as well. Mike, let's stay with you a little bit here. Talk to me why VAR is something different for the pickleball space, and why it's going to be exciting to see it in action with a major national organization like the NCPA.
So we have a lot of new things happening in the next 20 to 30 days, actually, with our system itself. We're coming out with a brand new user interface, which has been built, on all the things that we learned along the way when we first started. We're only like 20 months old. So what's happening is our algorithm is built from the ground up for pickleball, for racket sports. We have age and gender and all those things, into our system built in, but it's all backed by AI. And that's the thing that, people are usually using mathematical modeling. And we have the mathematical modeling backed by the AI part of it, which is like a brain, we call it, which is working the ratings as well. And we have multiple ratings based on ages and gender. So it's not just one rating. So as Noah, takes his players and, they're mixed or their gender ratings, all those different ratings are going to help break that down as well. Right now, normally most of them are in the same age group, which is cool because now we got that part fixed, right? Because they're all college kids, anywhere from 19 to 22 on average, right? So that helps us give him a little bit more, you know, view into how you can break it down where all the genders are playing or all the mixed players are playing, right? And the fact that he could also add wheelchair to his system because we just brought that in, and I played my very first wheelchair able body games the other day, and that was amazing. So that's a whole nother part of his tournaments that he can bring in is the wheelchaired events as well. So that's where we're going with Vare. We have things that Noah's going to see in the next couple of weeks where players can actually scout the other players, and it gives a huge breakdown, which is no one's done that. It tells, their last games, X games they played against, who they were, what their win percentages was with a certain partner versus another partner, what their win percentage was against that partner, like all these different analytics that people are saying are coming, we're actually bringing to the forefront, and it's literally about 14 days away from that all happening. We're just doing final testing on it. So when I see Noel in a couple of weeks, I'm very excited about that to see him in person and then show him all these different scenarios and events and just educate the college players while we're there on all the
Yeah.
extra things that they can look at and see. So that's going to be
Yeah.
cool.
And I
Yeah.
think that's important. You hit it right there is because obviously we're humans. Change is tough for human beings. When we see something and we're like, oh, it's not what I'm used to. But then you start to get introduced to some of the elements that you've been talking about, Mike. And that's really, it's about all the different variables that generally get ignored in a rating system that is going to be, I think, pretty evident pretty quickly to these student athletes. So, Noah, talk about that. Like, obviously, this is something that you have to pitch to your athletes. This is something that your athletes are being introduced to. But I think from what it sounds like, it's one of those things that you almost can't wait to show them because it's something else that, most of the time people have been frustrated by rating systems. And this might be sort of a, breath of fresh air.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think the kind of a big thing that I've adopted just the mindset is really having Um, I think the biggest thing is constantly adapting, figuring out what the best route is. And, I had ideas that I thought of at the start, and they're completely different from what we do today. And it was a tough pill to swallow because I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought this was the perfect thing. And I feel like just like you said, Mike, as humans, we're just wired, convenience, just what we're used to. And that's something that I've really had to ingrain in myself. Like, hey, you're gonna be wrong sometimes. There's gonna be better things that come out, and you got to be able to shift and adapt quickly and just optimize things. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing I love about Vare is just it's honestly the versatility of it, the innovation, and yeah, I'm excited to get that involved. And I think, you know, giving that to the players is gonna be honestly, I think a pretty easy, sell per se. Like it's very easy for them to just play in events and it's kind of automatic, but I really think they're going to buy into this and this whole concept, especially what you were saying, Mike Barker, with the I guess them being able to watch and rate themselves and stuff. What I think that's, innovation like that is really cool. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's super interactive, and I think that's what's kind of missing a little bit here. It's almost like when you get involved and there's predictive things, and you can sort of scout. It's more like gaming on some level before you get into the game itself, which can make
Yeah.
it fun. It's you got things to think about prior to the match and things to consider. Um, Obviously, you got nationals coming up, so fill us in a little bit about what's going to happen at nationals, where it is, the dates, what you're excited about, who's going to be there. Give us some background there, Noah.
Absolutely no. It's been, at least a couple months in the making just in terms of planning the event, but yeah, so this will be St. Louis, Missouri, February 27th through March 1st, 3-day event. And biggest news is it's all going to be on Amazon Prime. That was I think the biggest gift God's given. We got this deal through Pickle TV, and it's just such a cool thing. And if I'm a player, I'm like I'm playing on Amazon Prime. Like that to me is just so cool. I'm like, I wish I could, play in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just gonna be such an exciting thing. We've got a couple, I would say a couple highlights. This will be around 500 players, 2,500 people, and then
Wow.
64 schools in total. So yeah, very excited for that and playing at, I don't think I said this, but Arch Pickleball and Badminton, like couple minutes from St. Louis, the airport. So yeah, just very stoked for it. The players are excited. And then one little nugget that we really don't see in sports in general. I'm a big, not a big poker. I like poker. I was kind of a
Yeah.
little gambling addict in college, maybe. You didn't hear that from me, but um, they do this whole kind of bounty thing where if you knock out a top player, you get, a huge cash bonus. So we're going to be doing the same thing. We're introducing bounties. So if I'm a college that's low ranked and I'm playing a high ranked school, if
Yeah.
that school's got a $1,500 bounty on them and I knock them out of the tournament, I will immediately get 1,500 bucks cash. So that whole concept, players are going to be, I had a call with, 50 schools or so, and
Yeah.
people are very excited for it. So looking forward to it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
It's great, isn't it, Mike? Yeah. Yeah, obviously, Mike, you're going to be there with Bear walking around with a big smile on your face. What are you looking forward to? I mean, Nationals coming up, man, and this just kind of happened, and here you are, and you're going to be involved in this. So, talk to me a little bit about what your expectations are going in, Mike.
Um, well, I know that he's run great tournaments, right? So I know that that's going to go off without a hitch. What I'm excited about is seeing the excitement of the college players playing, and the fact that he just put that bounty thing, that scenario in there, and they're going to be on prime television. That is absolutely like I got to absorb that a little bit and figure out how I can help him blow that up even more that he's already done. I don't know how that would be yet, but
Yeah,
I'm going to figure that part out because that's what we're talking about. That's what we want to do for pickleball players, right? That's what I wanted to do when I first started playing the game. I wanted to make it better for everybody else, not just for myself, but for everyone else. And that's what Noah's done with the colleges. I mean, I went to that tournament over the weekend and I looked at all these young kids. A girl came up to me. She won the gold medal in the U16. She's 12, right? And I just looked at her and she was so excited and so happy and everything else. And she's like, "Oh, I know you sponsor a couple other people and blah blah blah. Can I talk to you?" I said, "Well, yes, but I need your parents around." So to be able to walk into his tournament and watch the excitement of these college kids having to be able to play a sport or being part of a sport with such a big exposure that they normally weren't getting because they were maybe, a small fish in a big pond growing up. And now all of a sudden they can be the big fish. That's what he's creating. And that's exciting to me. And I try to tell parents all the time now when I see kids, hey, your kids play sports, and they'll be like, yeah, they play soccer and baseball. I say, get them into pickleball because in 5 years you'll be getting scholarships for that. So
yeah,
exactly.
that's what Noah's actually making happen by doing these tournaments. It's just going to go into that whole scholarship scenario where these colleges are going to start recruiting players even more so.
Yeah, and that's
yeah,
the evolution of the game. I think you're both part of that, and that's what's exciting about this is you are both in organizations that are sort of the next evolving process of this game, and that's it's exciting. It's hard. It's difficult. We could go on for days about the struggles that you two face on a daily basis about the status quo, what and expectations that people have about what the game should be. and you're game changers. And that's why I enjoy, interacting and working with both of you, because you're not just sitting around. You're changing what you don't like about the game, and you're creating it in the image that you do like. And if people want to come along for that ride, I think it's going to be a great trip. So before we get you out of here, guys, no, obviously, National 2026 coming up. Um, that ends. You got another season to think about. So kind of talk to me about the rest of your year, and the process of working not only with VAR, but, improving the NCPA as well.
Absolutely. So this has kind of been a common theme that I think needs to change a bit, but you know, college events are announced very late and like a couple months before the season actually starts. So we're actually post nationals. I would say in a couple weeks we're going to be announcing our next season. So we're going from 6 regionals to 12 next year. And then we're going to be doing 2 national championships. One of those is international. So we'll have 12 to 16 countries represented, which is big thing. And we'll kind of do a bigger announcement and go into details on that, but partner with a couple people, and it's yeah, going to be a very exciting thing. So again, just kind of changing the landscape of college, really inciting not only the US because it's starting, but I mean, there are people in Mexico and Europe as a
Right.
whole and Africa that are seeing this. And if I'm looking at this from there, I'm like, I would love to play, get a scholarship and play for, a school in the US. And that's
Yeah.
kind of where our mindset is taking this. So yeah, in terms of next year, I'm so excited to see, what we're gonna do, especially that international component and the scholarships that are popping up. So yeah, very excited.
Very
Oh,
cool.
wow. You
All
know
right,
what?
Mike, obviously, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just want to add one more thing that just popped in my head, Noah, because we're coming out with that player scouting scenario. We could actually put that in the mix where college coaches and stuff could actually pull their scouting reports right from the system.
That's great because we were wanting to do these, and this is where junior comes in, that like 6 to 17-year-old age group. We want them to be able to have a pathway going into college, and then eventually we, let them go off into whatever pro tours are around in the future. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think the college scouting piece is such a big development and such a hole that is going to need to be filled. So yeah, I love that.
Awesome.
Yeah. We'll look back at this and go, remember when? Mike, obviously, for you, just like Noah, things change daily with VAR. You are constantly building, constantly refining, finding partnerships. So as best you can, obviously 2026, there's a lot left. What's on the horizon with VAR?
Um, Within a few weeks, we're actually training camera models where the cameras will be able to be set on the court and obviously do the complete AI rating through the camera system along with analytics. It's things like that. So we're real close to having that launched, which will be huge on Noah's side because also we're working with a few camera companies that we could get those cameras out on the courts, Noah, and each one of those games would automatically be recorded and put on the player's scorecard. So we're working on all that too. So that's another thing that
Yeah.
college coaches could look at. They could look at a game one and it could pull their best games and then they could look at the camera video footage of that player playing. So that's the things that we're working on
That's
and
big.
taking it to another level.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
big.
I mean, that's huge. I think it's going to be interesting to have another conversation, maybe 6 months from now, a year from now, and see what's happened, because we'll be like, it just moves so fast. As we know, this sport is just this roller coaster ride, and it keeps going up and down, and we keep evolving. And it's really cool to see two people who have taken something and created it from basically nothing, but just a need that, because that something wasn't there for them, and they wanted to improve that aspect of the game. And you can tell it's improved it's improved their lives as well. I mean, you guys are excited, you're doing cool things, you're meeting great people, and you're helping kids. How I mean, at the end of the day, how cool is that? You're getting kids in a pipeline that is not only accurate in the way they play, but they can feel good knowing that they have organizations that have their back in their best interest. So thank you both, Mike Barker, obviously from VAR, Noah Sumnick from the National Collegiate Pickleball Association. Thanks for your time, guys, and hey, have a blast at nationals, you two.
I
We
appreciate it.
We will. Thank you. Thank you
Thank you,
very
Mike.
much, Mike. Appreciate it.